is that the end of Trent at Liverpool? And will the Reds do the business against Everton in the derby? These are some of the things that we're talking about on Reds Down Under this week. This is your Liverpool fan podcast for fans in Australia. Reds, this is your home. You're going to love it. Don't worry about it. We'll look after you. If you are following the podcast, do what you got to do. Like, subscribe, send it to your nan. If your nan likes the Reds, send it to your nan. You know, get it involved. Send it to anyone who loves the Reds, please, and thank you. Thank you so much to Redboat Ventures, who are our production partner, and we really couldn't have made this podcast without them. They do everything. They do animation, video. They help you get your business together and organised with some unbelievable software called Magic Box. Check it out. The stuff's in the show notes, so give them a little look as well. Thank you so much for all your support so far. This week I've got a brilliant guest on, Max, who is a Red who lives in the Hunter Valley. He's part of the Supporters Club in Newcastle, and he's got some great insights on what it is to be a Liverpool fan in this beautiful country we call Australia. Enjoy, Reds.
This is the Reds Down Under podcast, the best place to follow the Reds in Australia. Enjoy the show.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.
Well, Max is drinking Canadian Club. I'm drinking coffee. This is Reds Down Under. Max, welcome to the pod, mate. Thanks for coming on.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
No, of course, mate. We met around the This Is Anfield event. Max, me and Max were talking about the Reds. He's in the supporters group in Newcastle, not the Newcastle FC, Newcastle United supporters group, like someone thought on the night. The Red supporters group, and Max boxed me off a ticket, and since then we've become best friends. Let me throw one at you straight away to get going, mate.
Yep.
We will talk about that room that you're sitting in, which just looks like the sexiest room I've ever seen. Liverpool are 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League, mate. Is it done? Are we winning it? What are you thinking?
It's nearly done. I'm confident the Everton game.
It's nearly done.
Fulham game. That might be a tough game. A bit more worried about that than the Everton game. There's still 1% chance that Arsenal might snoop in. So when it gets closer, I'll get more excited. Hopefully we're winning it in front of Arsenal.
We've been hurt before, haven't we?
We have.
To be honest.
I was hurt last year.
Mate. The brilliant thing about having Jurgen Klopp at the club was that we were competitive. But the hard thing about that time was, how many times did we finish second, mate? In that period?
Too many times. I think I saw, it was like a stat. It was like if we changed 3 results or 4 results, our history would have been another 2 Champions League and another Premier League, or another 2 Premier League titles. So just a matter of four games. Could have been a completely different story. But hey,
I know. We were 2 games away from. So. Yeah. Well, here's one for you then. Manchester City have clearly cheated.
Clearly.
Right. Clearly. And I'm a man of justice. So I want them to basically get fucked and relegated. What would be your preference? Would you want to take the trophies off them, give them to Liverpool, or would you just strip them of the trophies?
We deserve those titles. You know, they finish 1 point and 2 points behind. Like, awesome seasons. We deserve it. The players deserve it. And I think also Manchester United would get one, unfortunately, but they probably deserved it that year as well.
Well, they did, but I think they were also like 18 points behind City. But we were like a point behind. Surely them cheating is worth at least 2 points, 3 points.
Exactly. But then you imagine all the other teams going for compensation, like missing out on Champions League or relegation. Like, it would just be a minefield.
Yeah. I know. Well, we'll see what happens with this, because I've just got this horrible feeling that they're going to get away with it.
I think so too.
I think that I think they might get away with it. Like, and if they do get away with it, mate, who knows where we stand? Because if they get away with it, it basically means that the rules don't exist, right?
Exactly. And the Premier League
Or
becomes a joke.
the,
Then
yeah,
Newcastle would be licking their lips. I think even Nottingham Forest would be licking their lips.
I know. Well, Newcastle, we spoke about it on the pod the other week. Me and Jack, our kid, we've got soft spots for Newcastle. I think because it's a similar town, Newcastle in England, obviously Newcastle in Australia as well, but they're a similar town to us, working class people and good fan base and stuff, and to get beat by them in the cup final softened the blow a little bit. And to see did you see the trophy parade?
Oh, I did. To have 30,000 people to come out for the Carabao Cup, that's just ridiculous. It's good for football. It gives someone a chance to win, celebrate. Like my friend Gilly, who's a long time Newcastle supporter who lives in Austria, he'd have been that excited. He's waited that long. Probably meant the world to him. But that's okay. We let him win that. We'll take Isaac in the summer. I can handle that.
Yeah, I'd have a couple. I'd have a couple, mate. I'd have Isaac, although I'm not convinced that it's a Liverpool signing. I can't. I just can't see it, mate. I can see Gordon maybe. Especially with the talk of Luis Diaz has came out this week, hasn't it? Again, that he might not be getting a new contract and he might be off to Barcelona or even Saudi. I can see Gordon happening. But we'll see on that one. But talking of trophy parades, you're going over to Liverpool, aren't you? Tell us a little bit about that at the end of the season for what we're hoping is a trophy parade.
That's right. Well, even last year when in January I bought tickets because I thought, we're here for a chance. We'll win the league. So I purchased that tickets when Jurgen announced his retirement and it all went downhill. So I was there for the Wolves game. Amazing game. I don't remember much. It was just chanting non-stop. It was the best atmosphere. But hopefully
Yeah,
this time around, I've got the hotel picked. I'm on the main street. Might be the Strand. I've looked at the photos.
yeah,
Well, there's good photos from the rooftops. I've got my location set up
yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, you showed me the photo, didn't you? The reference.
Yep.
People will know this photograph. The trophy parade coming down. I think it is the Strand actually, but I wouldn't even know what that road is. I only know the city by pubs.
Comes from the Everton direction.
But well, it's coming where you're going to be is the Liver buildings will be on your left, and the Albert Dock will be behind you. It's a brilliant spot. But there was a photo taken last time the parade happened, and someone was dangling their feet, and you could see the bus down below. And I think that's where it finishes up. I think that's the last part of the
Yep.
journey. So that's going to be amazing. Are you going on your own or are you taking anyone
No,
with
no,
you?
I'm going on the home. Mrs. allowed me. She's got Beyonce, so I've got Liverpool. And
Oh,
when
mate,
you happen to know, one of my long-time friends, Corey, who lives in Melbourne, he's also going over there for the end of the year parade. So we'll catch up there over there as well. Soccer brings us all together.
I'll have to hook you up with my mate Adam back home. He'll definitely be going. It'd be great for you to meet him actually. So remind me of that, mate. We'll do
We'll
it.
do it often.
You're well, you live in the Hunter Valley,
Yep.
right? It's not quite Newcastle.
Yep.
Why on earth, mate, do you support Liverpool Football Club? You could have picked anyone. Why Liverpool?
It's the luck of the draw, really. Like growing up, had no interest in soccer, football. I was more interested in baseball, cricket. So got to high school, so it would have been like 2000. And back in the day, there wasn't much football on TV. All we had was the World Game on SBS, which was every Sunday from midday till 6 p.m. And usually that was just a local segment of local football, which wasn't much back then. You'd have a FIFA special, a like a doco, some Champions League magazine show, and then you'd have probably all the Major League highlight shows. And you see all the goals of the week and probably saves of the week, and then you would have match of the day. So it'd be one of the games of the week in the Premier League. Um, I don't know why I started watching it, but it happened to be Arsenal Man U, I think. And at that time, Arsenal were just filled with Bergkamp, Henry, Perez, Wiltord,
Vieira.
Vieira. It was
Yeah.
just ridiculous. And they beat Man U, beat Aston Villa, and then they pumped Man City 5-0. And Henry scored twice that game, I believe. Or was it Wiltord? And I thought, you know what? I don't mind football. Then the next game, this was in early November, it was Leeds and Liverpool. And big Mark Viduka scores 4 goals against Liverpool. And that game was back and forth, and it was amazing. Even though Liverpool lost, it was a great game.
I Mate, I remember watching that game. I think Christian Ziege scored for Liverpool,
Yep,
the left back, the German lad. I think he only played one season. He had that blonde hair,
yep.
but Viduka scored 4. He was unbelievable. He was a good player, mate.
He was a very good player. Like, we listen to other ex-players talk, and they just say he had the whole skill set. He could have been unbelievable, but he just didn't have that drive to be the best. But everyone says on his day he was unplayable.
He was in a there was a couple of really strong Australian players at the time, wasn't there? Harry Kewell,
Yep.
obviously, who played for Leeds and for Liverpool. I think he was playing for Liverpool maybe in this game.
Mm,
Or maybe not. Maybe he was still playing for Leeds,
I think he was still playing for Leeds. I don't think he
Still
played
playing for
that game.
Leeds.
So I feel like Harry come over when Benitez was there.
2004, I think he signed.
Yeah. But I think
I
there
think
was
so.
another Australian player in their midfield at Leeds. So we kind of had that coverage over here. When an Australian does good, it makes the news. And I was like, okay, I like Liverpool. That was a pretty good game. And the next game was a 4-1 win against Coventry. I think Esky scored a double. But then after a few games,
Yeah.
you see Gerrard play, McAllister play, Herman, Smeater, Hippier, Carragher. And you think, yeah, I like this team. Then the following week, we lose 2-1 to Tottenham.
Yeah, well, that was Liverpool for you in the time, wasn't it? That's why we never won the league.
But then,
But we had really good players in that time. I think that year we won the League Cup. I think we beat Man U.
so
Gerrard scored a deflected screamer
yep,
past Bartes in Cardiff. So who was your sort of, because we all have it. I have it now. I'm sure you do now as well. Who was your favourite player in that time, in that period?
Stevie G, by a mile. Just that work rate, drive, captain, everything. That's why he sits up on my signed jersey on the wall there. Couldn't ask for a better captain.
He was like, there's certain players for me, mate. Like when you watch Liverpool and when you're in the stadium as well, there's certain players that because you've got them in your team, there is always a chance. And it sort of became a cliche, didn't it? But Gerrard would win the game on his own.
Oh, 100%. That
He
that
was,
Olympiacos goal in that qualifying group stage. I think he had a goal disallowed for a long range
yeah,
strike, and I was like, oh fuck. But then he does it again, and just that commentator screaming, amazing. Then he does it again
yeah, I
against
know,
West Ham in the cup final from further out.
yeah. Which goal do you think was a better goal?
I think Olympiacos. The fact that
It was
the fact
awesome,
we had to
wasn't
win
it?
3-1. Like when Rivaldo scored, it's like, here we go.
Yeah, and they were a good team. Look, weren't
Oh, they're a
they?
good team.
That was probably the best Greek team I've ever seen. Actually,
Yeah,
that Olympiacos team.
yeah, I'd have to agree. Even though I
And
don't watch much of the Greeks, but I think back then,
no, I mean, to be fair, Yeah, I don't watch any Greek football, but definitely on the Champions League stage, I think that was the best team.
Yep.
So then you're a Red then in 2003. We've got you. Istanbul comes in 2005. How big was that over here in Australia? Because obviously back in Liverpool it was one thing, but what was it like over here in Australia?
To be honest, I couldn't really tell because I was still in high school. So I wasn't at any pubs. I still remember that morning we had a Danish exchange student staying at our place named Hans, he's from Denmark, and obviously Sondale Thomason played for AC Milan, so he was all about the Danish player. So he stayed over that
Yeah,
night. We got up early, watched the game. That first 45 minutes, just sitting there going, "What the hell?" Like I had an orthodontist appointment at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I was thinking, "No, oh, I'm glad this is over, and I'll go straight there." Then the comeback was on.
from pulling teeth to pulling teeth, eh?
Then that comeback was on. Yeah. Then perhaps I was hanging out the door, running late, watching the penalty shootout. Then when I got to school, it was the best moment.
Yeah. So, because I think it was one of the last Champions League finals that was a midweek game, wasn't it? It would have been a Thursday morning here, I think. I think it was played on the Wednesday. They've changed it now, haven't they?
I think that's right. Yeah, because if I had to go to school, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a Wednesday, Thursday.
Because I went to school the next day, and obviously going to school with loads of Evertonians, it was just the best.
Yep.
It was just the best. But you must have had Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Man United. You must have just been rubbing it in
I think there was.
everyone's faces, mate. I would.
I think there's just more. I think we had more Man United fans than probably Chelsea fans, especially when Chelsea just got bought and all the plastic supporters jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
There was a
I
few
know.
Arsenal supporters, but I think most of the mates were Liverpool supporters. And mate James, he was just a Newcastle supporter through and through, and it was good to have that mix. So
So, I mean, Stevie G, obviously a top player, arguably the best Liverpool player at the moment. We've got Mo Salah, who people argue is the best ever for the club. I know you know there's a couple of players who'll compete in that, Kenny Dalglish being one of them. Who for you is the best Liverpool player of all time?
I'd say King Kenny would still be number one, then Gerrard number two. Salah, he'd be in the top five. I'm a bit critical of Salah sometimes.
Top five.
Um,
Who would you put above Salah then? So you've got Kenny, Stevie. You've got two spots there. Putting you on the spot here, mate. This is what Red Down Under's all about.
I'll go Ray Clements, awesome goalkeeper.
Great goalkeeper, yeah.
Probably
I wasn't
our best
expecting
ever.
Ray Clements. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Arguably, yeah.
And I'd probably say Ian Rush.
Rushy, yeah.
Yep.
See, me dad's era. He like just waxes lyrical about Ian Rush, and to have the two of them as well, Dalglish and Rushy. Like those Liverpool fans, mate, they didn't know how good they had it. I mean, don't get me wrong, we had Salah, Mane, and Firmino, which was unbelievable. It's probably the best, other than you could probably pick out Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo, and maybe Neymar, Messi, and Suarez.
Yeah, I'd say they're all on par
But
on that.
yeah, I'd say they were on par. But for them to be playing for Liverpool, mate, was unbelievable.
I think Bobby Firmino
Absolutely
is
unbelievable.
underrated. Like he was the glue. I wish he stayed longer.
Yeah. I think we could have had another year, couldn't we?
I reckon we could have. easily.
We could have had another year.
Even if he just slowly
What
got
do you think
phased
of
out.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the club, the way the club was looking, they obviously were looking to sign a number 9.
Yep.
You know, they were obviously looking in the market for a number 9. They went for Darwin Núñez. It looks like he's on the way out. What do you think of the talks about Luis Diaz as well? There's talks that he might be on his way out, mate.
At the start of the season, like Diaz was on fire. I think he scored like 5 goals in the first 6 or 7 games. It's like, oh no, this might be his season. Then he's just dropped off. I don't know. He's hot and cold. I wish he'd take players on a bit more, or even get to the byline like
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon does. As soon as Anthony Gordon gets the ball,
Mm.
straight down the byline, cuts it back. Diaz sort of gets, I don't know, 10 yards from the byline, then sort of plays around there, then goes back. Just take your man on. Like he
Yeah.
could beat every man and draw the foul. I don't want him diving
Yeah. He
like
could
Gordon.
probably.
Gordon always dives. But sometimes he could be that player
Yeah.
too, and probably get us over the line, more fouls.
Yeah. He's, for me, Luis Diaz is one of them players. I think I don't want to steal what Jamie Carragher was talking about the other week, but I think he's one of them. He's a really good player, but he's not a great player.
That's right.
And he was brought in, wasn't he, to you know, take over from Mane. He came over in the January from Porto, and he was electric.
Yep.
He was brilliant. Mane goes to Bayern, and we all sort of go, well, we've got Luis Diaz there, and he hasn't quite lived up to it, has he?
No. And, if he
And
goes and we get 20, 30 mil for him, I'm happy with that. We paid 45.
it's a,
It's a good return.
I think we'll get what we paid for him.
Yeah.
I think we'll get at least that. If we do sell him, I think it will be an interesting indicator, because I think he obviously prefers Gakpo on the left. When Gakpo's fit, he plays on the left. And then you've got Núñez. Diaz has been playing in the middle, which, to be fair to him, is not his position, is
No.
it? He's done all right. He's done all right. And then you've got Jota, who's injured a lot. And to be honest, the three of them could go. Diaz, Núñez and Jota.
Yep.
We've got a big transfer window ahead of us, haven't we?
With
You've got...
I'm gonna say with
Go on.
Jota, do you let him go? I know he's got a bit of injuries this season, and probably every other injury season he probably misses like 10, 15 games. But when he's on form, he only needs one chance, and he's slotting them like headers as well. Like he's so strong in the air.
Yeah, Jota the slotter.
Yep.
I like him. I like him a lot. I think the thing for me is, and I said it on another podcast as well, is Jota doesn't want to be on the bench. You can see that he wants to be playing. If he's fit, he wants to be playing. And if Liverpool are going to go and sign the number 9, Isaac's going to play every week.
Yep.
If they're going to spend 100 million plus Joe Gomez, which is like 130 million pound, he has to play.
Oh,
So I don't quite know where that sits with Jota.
I'm gonna say, yeah, Jota would be a good choice as a fourth choice.
Yeah,
Yeah, and even just
I like
Isaac's
him.
injury record as well.
He's a good goal scorer.
With two of them, you had the season covered.
Well, I mean, for me, we've been fatigued.
Yes.
You know, the Champions League game you can lose against PSG, and to be honest, they were brilliant, weren't
Oh,
they?
brilliant. They deserved it.
The cup final, they deserved it. They deserved it. And to be honest, I've always had this thing where I've been like, oh, I don't want PSG to win the Champions League because of the way they just go and buy all the best players and all this. This year, if they win the Champions League, I'll put my hands up and say, fair enough to you, you've done it right.
That's right.
You've signed.
They changed their
built a
philosophy and
squad.
they bought all the best young French players. And credit to them. They'll be good for years to come. And Dembele at the moment's on fire.
Fair.
You thought the ship might have sailed with him, but he's found his feet.
Isn't it mad? He spent all that time at Barcelona. He went there from Was it He was Dortmund, wasn't it?
Yes.
He went there from Dortmund for huge money, I think. The same transfer window Coutinho went, I think.
Yeah, I think he went for like
or the
100
one
million
after.
as well.
100 million. He's always been injured, as far as I know. I mean, I'm not massive on La Liga, but I think he's always been injured. And I think since he's played for PSG, he hasn't missed a game.
Maybe the French league's just more or less physical.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe the physios are doing something different with him. I don't know what's going on with this fella,
He does.
but he's doing well.
He doesn't play against Everton on a wet night or a Stoke on a wet night. That's probably the difference.
I'll be honest with you, Max. I wouldn't want to play against Everton on a wet Wednesday night, mate. I'm not made for it. I'm a fair weather player. And then, so we've lost those 2 games. We've had the international break, which is the most mind-numbing, boring thing ever. Unless it's the World Cup or the Euros or whatever, major tournaments, international football just kills me. We've obviously missed the FA Cup weekend because of Plymouth.
That was a blessing.
Up next, mate. A blessing in disguise.
Because we would have had to play Man City next. And that would have been another tough game.
Yeah. And that would have been another big game. But we're back now. We have been fatigued. Up next is the Merseyside Derby, mate. What are your feelings ahead of this game? It's a big one.
I think we'll win it. I think probably a 2-0 win. Hopefully, Slot's learned his lesson from playing Everton and Newcastle that they're going to just bypass our midfield and just play the long ball from the back to the front and win the second ball. And if we haven't learned our lesson, then yeah, that's on Slot there. 'Cause we need to sort of nullify. Is it Beto?
He seems to learn his lesson though, doesn't he?
He does.
Oh, Beto, yeah.
Beto's strong.
Yeah, Beto, you know what? Beto, when Everton first signed him, do you do fantasy football?
Yep.
When Everton first signed him, I put him in the team. I was like, he's going to be good, this lad. And he did nothing. he did absolutely nothing. But this season, there's a bit more about him, I think. I think he's a threat.
I think he just learned how to play the Everton way. Just kick it long and be physical.
Yeah, well, that's definitely... That's got to be the game plan, hasn't it, for Everton, as you say. Bypass the midfield, hope for second balls.
And win the free kicks around the box.
Yeah. I think we've got to stop them from winning free kicks and getting corners, I think.
100%. I think Curtis Jones has got to start this game over Gravenberch.
Yeah.
Just Curtis holds on the ball a bit more, has a bit of mongrel in him.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to play a bit smart too. Like, they're going to be fouling us left, right, and centre. And if they get an early yellow card, we should be targeting that player. I think this year, other teams have got yellow cards quickly, and we just don't put the pressure on them. Whereas other teams do that to us. Like if McAllister gets an early yellow or a Gravenberch, Slot will change him after 60 minutes. Go, no, it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
But no, we've got the players. We've got Salah. You bring on Elliott. Hopefully he brings on Chiesa. Saw some fouls. Let's stick it to him.
What do you think of Chiesa? He hasn't played many minutes, has he, mate? But when he's came on, he's looked a pretty tidy player.
I want him to do good. Like, soon when we signed him, I was like, this will give Salah a rest. Like, Salah will play 70. Chiesa will come on for 20. But no, just has not happened. So, I don't know what the go is. Surely, Slot must see something different at training. But then you look at Harvey Elliott as well. You sort of go from player of the season last year to nothing this year. I think if we lose Harvey Elliott this year, we'll regret it. He'll go to Dortmund and he'll be a superstar.
Yeah. I really like Harvey Elliott. He's been really unlucky with injuries, hasn't he?
Yep.
That injury he got it against Leeds. The broken leg.
Yep.
Was it broken leg or broken ankle?
Something broke.
Shocking. Something broke, mate. Something broke. I think I think he is going to be potentially a victim of the changes at the club. Do,
He's just like a Phil.
I
He's
just
like
don't
a Phil
know how
Foden.
many players we can change. I I I don't know how many players we can let go to bring other players in. I think this Derby game. I talked the other week about a game that we played against Southampton
Yep.
at Anfield, and we played the 4-2-1-3 or the 4-2-3-1 or however you want to look at it. And I felt like we changed the game in a 4-3-3,
Yes.
little bit more of a traditional 4-3-3. I think that's the way to go in this derby. I'd actually go Grafenberg sitting in the six. I'd go McAllister, and I would go Soboslai,
Okay.
but I think that would be harsh on Jones. I think he's perfect for this game.
Jones owes it to him for the
But
last game.
I know, well, he got him a red card, didn't he?
That's right.
He got him a red card.
I just don't know.
I do like Curtis Jones, mate.
He's underrated. Just like in the Henderson mold. He can do it all. He's good in tight spaces. He's good for a good through ball when they're playing a tight defence.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he starts Nunes in this game or not. Um,
I I would go Nunes. I would go Nunes. 100%.
just with the long balls.
At a risk, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a game he could get a red card in. No doubt.
That's okay if it studs up
But
on Pickford. That's fine. If they're both competing
yeah,
for the ball,
it's got to be Pickford. We owe Pickford one, mate,
I'm
don't
sick of
we?
him.
We absolutely owe Pickford one.
Between him and Martinez,
I
I don't know which goalkeeper I hate more.
I hate Martinez, mate. I had this argument with a Villa fan who's a very nice lad, great guy, but he's a Villa fan, and he was saying, "Oh, Martinez is the best goalie in the world." I said, "Why? What makes you think that?" And he said, "Oh, well, he won the World Cup and he was the keeper." I was like, "He's good, but there's a reason Arsenal got rid of him,
That's right.
and there's a reason he plays for Aston Villa." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No big club was. I mean, no disrespect to Villa, they're a big club, but no competing club at the time was looking at him, and he ended up going there. Brantwaite. Oh, sorry, back to Nunes before I go on to Brantwaite. Yeah, I think because Everton are going to play that game like you say, they're going to play the long ball, they're going to try and skip the midfield. I think the game has an opportunity to be stretched. And I think Brantwaite in there is brilliant centre-half. Tarkovsky, he's strong, he's good in the air, but he doesn't want to be running in behind.
That's right.
No chance. I think it is a point of weakness, actually, is the Everton fullbacks. And I think if he's willing to run into the channels, I think Nunes could be the difference, actually.
Yep.
Would you go Gakpo or would you go Diaz on the left then in that scenario?
I'd go Diaz. Hopefully he just takes the ball wide and just stretches the play. Because you know Gakpo's going to get the ball and he's going to cut on the inside and go for that top corner every time. So hopefully Diaz can just stretch the game.
Every time.
Yep. And then even Gakpo gives us an option down the middle. I don't mind him down the middle, actually. He's probably on par with Jota, really.
Yeah, I like him. I like him down the middle as well. I think his preference is down the left. But yeah, I think talking about Brantwaite as being linked with Liverpool again, it sort of came up again. He was linked with Man U last year, and I think he's going to be a player who will be on the move in the summer. And if we can get him and what's his name from Bournemouth, Huijsen, how do you say his name?
Huijsen, something like that.
Huijsen.
He's pretty young though.
If we can get, he is young, and Brantwaite's young as well. So, but I like the two of them. I think they're both good players, good ball players.
I think Brantwaite would be good because
step in.
he is an English player, and you've got to meet that quota as well of having English lads. Um, yeah, that'd be good to have him.
Yeah, it's,
It's funny how you got to sort of think about that now.
I know. I'd like to have a team of Australians, mate, but we might get relegated the way the Socceroos are at the minute.
Yeah.
It's not great, is it?
If it wasn't for Jackson Irvine,
It's not.
then yeah, I wouldn't know
He's
who's in the Socceroos
he's a
these days.
proper lad as well,
He
isn't he?
is.
Irvine. Yeah, yeah, I like him. I like him. The Matildas are putting up a fight though, mate, aren't they? They're dragging Australia through it at the minute. All right, Merseyside Derby, mate. It's Thursday morning. Give us your predictions.
2-0. Salah penalty. I'll go for a Pickford foul to give that penalty.
Oh, juicy. Love it.
And why not? Curtis Jones.
Curtis Jones.
Yeah.
Absolute. You know what would be great? A really rough Curtis Jones goal where it gets 3 deflections and bobbles past Pickford with his little arms.
Yep.
Love that, mate. Runs off in front of the Anfield Road and kisses his badge in front of the Everton fans. All right, you've gone 2-0. I'm going to go... I think we're going to go out. I think we're going to play. I think we've had a break. The players have cleared their heads. I don't normally like to pick a big score, but I think we're going to play them off the park, actually. I think that we'll be angry after the last couple of games, and I think we're going to win 4-0.
I'll take that any day.
4-0, mate. I just
With a Nunes
think
hat-trick.
that we'll have too much. And to be honest, I did ask on Instagram what the score would be, and one person said 14-0. So I think 4-0 is pretty reasonable. So if you're listening or watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, pause the video right now, jump in the comments, let us know what score you think it's going to be in the derby on Thursday. If you're watching on, if you're listening on Apple or on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, jump on at Reds Down Under podcast and leave us a message, and we'll read them out next week. We will talk about Fulham shortly, mate. The international break brought some horrible news that it looks like Trent might be on his way to Real Madrid. I asked the question on Instagram, would it ruin his legacy if he went to Real Madrid for free? What do you think on that?
Just leaves a sour taste in everyone's mouth.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he could have come out a year and a half ago and said, hey, I want to leave. We could have got a transfer fee, even if it was 30 mil, even 25 mil. Can plan for the future, target the next player. But he's kind of just let us on a bit, I guess. And I suppose he probably thought we probably have a dip in form. The new coach doesn't know how to play. Thinking, well, this might fall in my favour here. Won't be as rough when I say I want to leave, because the fans will understand that we're not playing well. And now he's probably sitting here going, do I really want to leave when we're top of the league? We're probably one of the strongest teams in Europe. Yeah, it'd be tough, but we've got Bradley.
We have got Conor Bradley, mate, and he's a different type of player, isn't he? He's an absolutely cracking fullback, Conor Bradley. I know we've been linked as well with Frimpong and a couple of other players are in the hat as well. I think to see a local lad with, first of all, so much financial value to the club. You know, if he had 3 years on his deal, Real Madrid would have to pay 70 million for him. But to see him go for free it's a sour taste. It's a sour taste in the mouth for a player who is living the dream, not only of young Scouse lads who want to play for Liverpool Football Club, but for kids all around the world, in Australia and in America. to grow up and be Trent and be in the team, be the vice captain, win the Premier League. Hopefully we win it again now, twice. The Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup. He's done it all. And to leave the club in the way that it looks like it might happen, it leaves a very poor taste in the mouth. You know what I was thinking though, mate? Is because I read today, Trent was surprised of the backlash, apparently, that he got from fans after this, not announcement, but the news broke out. And apparently he's surprised that, the club could have took money for him in January, but Real Madrid offered 25 million for
20
him.
mil.
Absolutely disrespectful amount of money for a player like
I
that.
reckon it might have been a play to disrupt our season because we're looking so strong. Then it's good.
Yeah, well, it looked like we might play them in the Champions
League. That's
League.
right. What perfect timing to get in Trent's head if we got to the semi-final.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It'd almost be that bad that you'd have to drop him.
Yeah.
And not play him in that game. So, Real Madrid, biggest club in the world and all that, making all this money, brand new stadium, but they are constantly tapping up players and making it impossible almost for clubs to hold on to their players. If you look at the money that PSG offered Mbappe to stay,
yep,
crazy money, you wouldn't take it. And okay, going from PSG to Real Madrid, it's a big step up, but not to forget that he's a French boy and he grew up in the city, and he's essentially done the same thing what Trent's doing. I'm absolutely gutted about it. I still hope there's part of me as well that hopes that he might sign a contract.
Does a Gerrard U-turn? I still remember that day.
Yeah.
I was fuming when Gerrard's like, "Yep, I'm going," and just why? But he saw the light. So
yeah.
But I think Trent just fell for Real Madrid's tactics. Either you sign on a free or we're not coming back for you. I don't think Real Madrid would have ever paid 50 million for him if that was the get out clause in a new contract. I think Real Madrid probably got better players than Trent. Like Danny Carvajal is no slouch. I think he even scored some important goals.
But he is injured, isn't he?
He is, but it's the Spanish league. He could probably last another 3-4 years.
Yeah.
But I think everyone agrees when they have that predicament out of the three, keep two, sell one. Virgin Salah stays, Trent goes. But no fullback deserves to be on 250, 300 a season. For a great player, he does.
No, unless they are contributing top numbers, and to be honest with you, mate, the way Slot plays, I don't think he's looking for top numbers from his fullbacks. I think that's it's the midfield and the front men's job to produce those assists and goals. I don't think he's overly concerned about getting it from fullback. We'll see what happens. I'd still like him to stay, but if he doesn't, then I can see him going to Real Madrid for a year, it not quite working. Then Liverpool aren't going to pay Real Madrid a transfer fee, and he's going to end up going and playing for Newcastle or someone.
100%. It's going to work out like it did for
see.
Owen. He left, we win the Champions League. Coutinho leaves, we win trophies 2 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know, even Trent saying he wants to win the Ballon d'Or. He's never going to win it at Real Madrid. The team's full of superstars.
No.
And when it comes down to it comes down to the voting, the reason why Vinny Jr. didn't win was because there was 5 in the top 10 who got votes. I think even the top 5 were 3 Real Madrid players who shared the votes. That's why Vinny didn't win. Whereas Rodri had to just compete with Haaland. And I think even the top 10, 15, I think there might have been 7 Real Madrid players. I think Danny Carvajal was 4th on the list. So he's never going to win that at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I think he'll get found out at Real Madrid of all the tricky wingers that play over there. And the Spanish press are going to get straight onto him after a few poor performances. I don't think he'll be able to handle the pressure. And 1 or 2 seasons, he'll be out of there. It'll just be like Bale. And Bale, and
Yeah.
Bale left a legacy. He won Champions League. I reckon he was harshly done by, but he was just strong mentality wise. Whereas Trent, if Jude wasn't there, yeah, as his protection.
Well, that's it, isn't it? They're mates, aren't they?
That's right.
So his head's it's no doubt part of his head being turned.
If
We'll
Trent
see.
left on good terms, there'd be a good chance if it didn't work out at Real Madrid, we would buy him back in a couple of years. But the fact that we would have to buy him back
Yeah.
at a cost to us, no.
Nah. Liverpool won't do that. Liverpool won't
No.
do it. I think they're so financially driven, our owners.
Yep.
They wouldn't do it. They'd see the loss that he's already caused them. You know, if you think, all right, let's just say for argument's sake, he should have went for 50 million. And then in 2 years' time, we can sign him for 30 million. That's 80 million signing to the club, really.
Yep.
So, I just can't see it. I just can't see it.
Yeah.
But room for optimism, mate. After the Everton game, we play Fulham, who have had a brilliant season
I have.
so far, mate. We play them. Let me just double check when that fixture is. When is the fixture?
that's-
Just looking at it. Sunday the 6th at 11 p.m.
Okay. At Craven College.
What a weird time. Craven Cottage, yeah. Craven Cottage. Mate, they've had a good season, Fulham. One of them sort of clubs, aren't they, that, they don't spend a lot of money, mate, but they play nice football. Could be a challenge.
I don't think they've been pumped once this season. I think they've been in every game. Marco Silva's doing. It's Marco Silva, I think it is. He's doing a great job. They're a good unit. They've got some good attacking players. I think it's Munez, Jimenez, and Harry Wilson. I think that was a mistake letting Harry Wilson go, but for his development, he's turned out to a great player.
Yeah. He's got a wand of a left foot, hasn't
Yep.
he? He's got an absolute wand of a left foot. These are a threat, these, mate. You've got who's the lad who played for Arsenal? They signed him from Everton.
Smith Rowe? No.
Yeah, not him. He's a good player as well. But who's the winger?
Not.
Who's the winger? Come on. The lad I can't think of on the left wing will be a threat. I don't know whether Trent will be back in the squad by then.
I think he's out for like another 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. So I think this Fulham game is a game where the wings could have a big effect. It'd be interesting to see who we play right back.
Yep.
Whether he'll go Kwanzaa at right back. You know what mightn't be a bad shout, and I don't know if he's ever played at right back before, but it might not be a bad shout to look at maybe Curtis Jones at right back.
He's played there in the past and he's done a pretty good job.
Has he? I can't remember. He did a good job, yeah.
I think last year he might have played right back a few times and he was still quite good when he was getting the crosses in. He was good in the tackles. Yeah.
It might be worth playing Curtis Jones right back then for the next, for the foreseeable anyway.
But Quansah didn't do
hard, isn't
that
it?
bad
Because
in the FA or in the Carabao Cup final either.
yeah, I like Kwanzaa.
So do I.
I like Kwanzaa. It's a difficult position, isn't it? To go from centre back to right back is always tough anyway. But he's a good player, and as you say, they've got Jimenez there, who is their top goal scorer this season. Absolutely sniffs out chances, doesn't
Just like
he?
an old school Van Nistelrooy, just a poacher.
Absolute poacher. Because remember he played for Wolves,
Yes.
He was really good for Wolves, but he got that head injury, didn't he? Which was absolutely shocking. And then he's gone to Fulham and he's done well because Munez, is it Munez?
Yep,
Munez
something like
was the man up front, wasn't he? At the end of last season, he was on fire, and he started this season up front, and it didn't quite happen for him. And now Jimenez has came in, and he's doing the job. I think it's a potentially tricky fixture. I think if we win the derby, I think it will just add that extra little bit of a psychological blow to Arsenal.
Yes.
You know, look, I think we're so far ahead at this point that we should just be winning the league unless it's the biggest disaster for a football team ever, collapse. But yeah, I think for Arsenal to see us go and win that derby game, that there will be some Arsenal fans who think, oh, well, they might lose that. And because they play Fulham this week, they might be thinking, oh, there might be half a chance there. But I think to go and beat Everton and then to go into that Fulham game, and it will be a competitive game, I think if there's a game to draw out the two of them, it could potentially be that one.
I think Fulham got a result at Arsenal earlier in the season. So they might get another result this weekend.
They've been competitive against the big teams for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if this would be a draw, or we'll nick a 1-0 win, but it'll be a tighter game than the Everton game.
Go on then, give us your official prediction. What are you going for?
1-0. I reckon Big Verge, maybe. Due for a header.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love a centre-back header to win the game. I'll go 2-1. I do fancy Fulham maybe to grab a goal at the Cottage as well. But I do think we'll have too much for them, and I'll go Gakpo and I'll go Salah. Again, wherever you are, pause this video or pause Spotify, wherever you are, go on Instagram or comment below. Let us know your predictions. We'll read them out next week. Right, we've got 2 more pieces of business, Max, mate. And then we're going to float off into the distance. The first thing I'd like to know is, you've got that room there of all your treasures. What's your favourite piece of merch that you've got in that room?
It would be the Gerrard jersey. On the other side is the Torres jersey. But in the middle is the Istanbul team jersey.
Oh, that's nice.
There's plenty of room for more. Just about convincing the wife to let me get some more memorabilia stuff. So when I go over at the end of the season, I'll put up some more space on the wall. I would really like maybe a Bobby Firmino, Mane, Salah trio jersey signed.
Yeah.
Or even just Bobby Firmino, to be honest.
Yeah, Bobby would be nice. I bet you can get a Bobby one for a decent price now, I reckon. Talking of, and we'll come back to this in just a second, because maybe you'll be able to get yourself a Craig Johnson signed shirt soon. We'll come back to that. Before we do, the question I ask all of our guests is, which Liverpool player from history would you choose to take a last-minute penalty in the Champions League final? Now, you can't have Salah and you can't have Van Dijk because they've been taken. So, who would you pick, Max, to take the penalty, and why?
Few contenders. Dirk Kuyt, because he just does the simple things right.
Love it.
He's pretty calm. He'd be pretty safe. Origi, I don't think his penalty record's too bad, but he seems to be a man for the big occasion every time. And
who would you go for? You've got to pick one. Dirk Kuyt, mate, was cool as you like, one of your penalties. And he scored a couple against Everton, didn't he, in the derby?
Yep. Even Bobby Firmino would be up there. You know, I'd go James Milner, actually.
You've absolutely dropped them all, and you're gone for James Milner.
Mr.
Mate,
Reliable.
that's a good
I think
shout.
he's actually got a pretty good penalty record.
Yeah, great penalty
I'll be
record.
over,
I think
over 20, 30 years or something like that. He's probably missed one or two.
yeah. I think he's one of the best, statistically, one of the best penalty takers in the history. Because I think even when we signed Salah wanted the pens, didn't he? But Milner was the
Yeah,
penalty
I
taker.
think he'd just be calm. I think he'd go for a penalty player, whoever takes penalty, someone who doesn't take one very often. That way it's just the keeper's guess. Whereas you probably have your Salah and Gakpo, they all have their own way they prefer, and they probably watch video replays all the time. But with someone like Milner, it's just going to be luck of the draw.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I like Milner. Good penalty taker, mate. Nice fella. Loves drinking milk. Not a bad fella at all, mate. All right, we did mention Craig Johnson there. Obviously, you're in the supporters club in Newcastle. Before we get on to Jono, tell us a little bit about the club. Tell us about what sort of meetups you guys do up there.
so I'm part of the committee of the official Liverpool Supporters Club in Newcastle. Um, there's clubs all around Australia: Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide. I think if you go into the official Liverpool website in the fan section, they'll have a list of all the official clubs in most countries where they have meetups and stuff like that. This club's been around since 2011. Sorry. And I only become aware of them two and a bit years ago. I don't know how I come across them. Just clicking away, I was probably thinking there must be some supporter group around. Maybe must have seen like maybe there was, because I know there's an Arsenal supporters group on the Central Coast somewhere. There's a Man United supporters club in Sydney. And yeah, I ended up coming across them on Facebook, and so I did some get-togethers. Then I thought, oh, I'll take the plunge and go down there and watch a game and see who's there. Um,
Yeah,
so they've been going to the K-Feed Cafe in Hunter Street in Newcastle. They've been going there for quite some time. So normally those games are midweek games, like morning games, I mean. Um, Jules, the owner, he's incredible. He opens up early for us, even at the 5 o'clock games. Um,
that's pretty
he
good.
does. And
Putting coffees on as
yep,
well. Has he got the coffee
coffee,
machine
breakfast,
on?
going. He's a diehard Liverpool supporter. He probably does make probably one of the best coffees in Newcastle. I'm a bit of a coffee snob, but
That's a great
I
shout,
would
mate.
have,
One of the best coffees in
I would
Newcastle.
easily drive an hour to go get a coffee from him. Like he does a keto breakfast. Like the breakfast is great. Um, so if you're ever down in Hunter Street, Newcastle, drop in at the Key Cafe. They'll look after you. Um, and then
And if they mention Max, did they get like a 50% discount or anything?
they could try.
It's worth a crack,
It's
isn't
worth
it?
it, but I doubt
I
it'll
would.
work.
I'd mention you and just say, "Oh, Max sent me. Said they'll look after me." See what
And
happens.
then on the weekends, like the nighttime games, we're at the Sydney Junction Hotel in Newcastle. Um, so they've got an outdoor area they've dedicated to us. So it's just us soccer supporters out there in the beer garden. It's undercover, big screen. Um, they have the security guard there, so it keeps all the idiots and drunk ones out of that area. And they're also pretty good to us as well. It's just that the kickoff times are not um, friendly for us here in Australia.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's the hard thing, isn't
yes,
it?
so we've got the Everton game at 6 a.m. at the cafe this Thursday morning, which is our last one for the season. If it wasn't for PSG, we'd definitely have more morning games, but can't win them all. And we will look at some of the nighttime games coming up, especially with the run into the league final. Um, we might have to see if we can get some special allowance there. Because who'd want to be celebrating it at home when we could be celebrating as a bunch of fans all together? Um, but yeah, the supporters group has over 100 paid members. We've got like over 1,000 group followers on our page where we post regularly, banter and stuff like that. Um, and also part of those clubs, they're part of the official clubs. You also got to help out some form of charity. Whereas the Newcastle branch look after street soccer which is linked to the Big Issue magazine, which gets around Sydney.
Yeah.
And they do that at the PCYC at Broadmeadow once a week, where just helping people from low socio-economic backgrounds get together, have a bit of fun, have a game. They also have support services there, which lets them access those services and sort of break the barrier. It's pretty good what they do. Um, all the committee members just do it voluntary. They don't get paid. They go above and beyond, especially Ray, the chairman. He goes way above and beyond. Um, yeah. So if you're in Newcastle, get on our page. Go onto the
Well,
official.
there you go.
Go on,
Get down there.
get on the official Liverpool page. Like our Facebook page. Come down to the morning meetings. Meet new people. Um, you know what? And this is the thing. Since I've started going, me and my dad go now. And I feel like that's me and father time, which is good. Hopefully down the track it'll be me and my
Yeah.
son going. But
Yeah. Well, that's
school
it.
at 5.
We've got to.
Yeah,
We've got to keep the Reds coming, mate.
that's right.
Because we'll lose them to Chelsea or Man City or something. We've got to keep the Reds in. We've got to
That's
keep the
right.
Reds in the family, mate.
There's the,
So if you are in that area, as Max said, jump on, have a look. If you Google the Newcastle Supporters Club, the official club, it'll come up straight away. Give them a little look, give them a follow, and see the work that they do in the community as well, because that's brilliant. I'm planning on coming up to Newcastle to come and see Max anyway, and meet some people in the club. But you've got an event, mate. Tell us about Craig Johnson,
Craig
who's a legend, obviously. Tell us about the event.
Craig Johnson. Everyone knows he's a local lad from Newcastle. He's got I think it might be some kind of theatre play, You'll Never Walk Alone, on Saturday the 23rd of August this year. And just it talks about his Liverpool journey and life after football, like photography, an inventor, songwriter. Tickets are on sale now. I think there'll be some live auctions on the night. So get on OzTix. His tickets are up for sale. But no, it should be a good night. Meet other supporters in the area. It's just when the second week of the Premier League kicks off. Hopefully there'll be a Liverpool game not long after it, and we'll all crack on from there and have a good night.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna come up for that. I'm gonna see if me brother Jack and me dad want to come up as well. And you never know, mate. They might have a Bobby Firmino signed jersey for you.
Let's hope.
We'll see.
There better be a buy now option.
Yeah, I know. You know, these auctions get like... John Barnes did one last year and Craig Johnson just turned up out the blue. It was unbelievable. I mentioned this the other week, actually. I have got the photo somewhere of Craig Johnson. I need to remember to post it. I think I've got
Funny,
it
there's a
somewhere.
guy at work. He's an old fella. He's retired now. Big Bobby Biles. And we're just talking about soccer one day because all he talks about is fishing. And then he was starting to talk about Liverpool, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm good friends with Craig Johnson." I'm like, "No, you're not, mate." He goes, "Oh yeah." He brings in a book. Here it is, signed. Here's a picture of him. It's like, small world.
Craig gets about, mate.
He does.
There's not a Liverpool fan who doesn't love Craig Johnson, mate. What a legend. So I'll come up and see you up there, mate, and meet Craig as well. Max, we've been going for a long time, mate, which is lovely. We've been over an hour.
Fun flies when you're having fun.
Which is nice. It's nice. We've done our Everton predictions. We've done... What else have we done? We've done the Merseyside Derby. We've done Fulham. We've done Trent. I think we're done, mate.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.